Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Disillusion Plays the Great Ace Attorney Escapades, where we play the games and do the voices. I'm Pete.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Taylor.
Nice. And just before we hop on in, don't forget, you know what we're going to say, right?
Well, I would hope so.
I would hope you know to do this, but just in case you don't, if you could hit that like button, drop a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and, maybe share this with your friends, whatever. If you think it's cool, you think they might like it, that'd be nice too. Wouldn't it be great? In today's episode, we're going to be playing through episode 3 and 4 of the Randst Magazine Escapades. This is just to be a little bit of a change of pace from the general seriousness of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and
and let's hope that this time there are plenty of tongue twisters so Sarah can be really, really happy about it.
Oh yes, so happy.
And
I'm ecstatic.
One final thing as well is that if you haven't watched the rest of our series, I would recommend doing that because these will contain mild spoilers.
Spoilers!
So if you haven't played the game, then check out our Let's Play. And so, Episode 3. This escapade takes place as Ryunosuke and Susato visit Lord Stronghart to report on the outcome of Mr. Natsume's trial. They find a flustered Inspector Gregson attempting to solve a very taxing problem before his time runs out. Oh dear.
Yes, and without watching the rest of it, you won't know why Gregson has a Scottish accent.
So why don't you watch our Let's Play so you can find out?
Why does he have a Scottish accent? Tune into the other videos to find out.
26th of February, 9:17 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office.
Here we are again.
Every
Again?
time we visit here, the atmosphere in this place seems to get more and more overbearing.
Again works.
Sorry, what?
Just think.
Taylor's pronouncing again and again.
Oh.
Again.
Just think. We could be at home with Mr. Sholmes and Iris having a nice, cozy breakfast.
But we have a duty to report the outcome of the case, especially since we're guests here in Britain.
Couldn't
So
we
I'm
just
afraid
send
this
it in the
visit
mail?
won't- So I'm afraid this visit could not have been avoided.
I suppose not. But is there even anyone here? You could hear a pin drop in this place. I mean, other than the gears turning in the
Don't
background.
connect.
It's too solemn for its own good.
It is very quiet, isn't it? The only sound is of...
Why can't I talk today?
The only sound is the ticking of the great clock as it keeps perfect time.
Larger than average Benjamin.
Larger than average Benjamin. Oh.
Pitter patter. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Pitter patter. Pitter patter. Pitter patter. Pitter patter. Pitter patter.
What was that, I wonder?
It's like Lord Stronghart on all fours, like a dog, like just,
Oh my
just
God.
scurrying around.
The usual comforting sound of the clock seems to have been joined by a less comforting shuffling sound today.
Tick tock. Tick
Tick-tock,
tock.
tick-tock.
Tick tock. Tick tock. I suppose this is gonna be Gregson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds a bit
You're right.
cheeky.
Something's disturbing the rhythmical ticking. It sounds rather like an unfit middle-aged man running from pillar to post. Clumsily. What do you call it unfit? Oh, Inspector Gregson, what are you doing here? What am I? Isn't it flaming obvious?
I need to lay back on the fish and chips. It's clogging my arteries.
58 seconds remaining, Inspector.
We'll have to talk later, sunshine.
And off he runs.
Oh, good morning, Lord Stronghart.
Wow, he's really looking fiercely at his pocket watch today.
And good morning to you. Business so early in the day?
Oh, yes! It's about the other day.
We are to deliver our report, Lord Stronghart, as our dealings with Mr. Natsume are now over.
Ah, yes. The little Japanese man. I've already cast my eyes over Fancy's report.
You're right there, Taylor.
There were several unflattering sketches of you, I believe, Mr. Naruhodo. Also,
There
some
we-
strong words that I cannot repeat in polite company.
Yep.
My God, why?
I must say, the outcome surprised me. I thank you for a job well done.
You are too kind, my lord.
Oh, you surprised me. That's a strange human.
It's not here, it's not there, and it's not over there either!
I hope you don't mind me asking, but what exactly is the inspector doing? He's been herring around between the bookshelves, looking beside himself with worry.
He's looking for a particular work. The Lion's Pride.
Oh.
The Lion's Pride.
Now there's an all too familiar title.
not to be confused with Monsieur Lecoq and the various others. I'd heard it was a popular tale, so I obtained a copy from the rental library. However, it wasn't able to maintain my interest, so I soon cast it aside. I happened to notice a vacant spot on one of my shelves at the time, so I duly stowed the book there. Unfortunately, I no longer remember where that was.
Oops.
No, not there, not here either. Come on, where are your lions hiding?
The book is due back today. Nope, that's turning into Van Zieks. The book is due back today, so I've asked Gregson to locate it for me with his investigative prowess. Inside 5 minutes.
Uh-oh.
I must say, I've never seen anyone working so hard to find something. He's like a man possessed.
Oh, yes. That's because his month's salary is staked upon the outcome. He's turning into
It's
gumshoe.
gumshoe.
Whose instigation? Let me guess, this stony-faced lord. And the 5-minute time limit? What's the significance of that?
Oh, well, I thought I'd just give him a bit of a challenge. There is none. Just my... just my vulgar, mischievous spirit showing itself, I'm afraid.
Oh, by your own admission?
Gah, I can't. My feet are killing me.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, Inspector.
Gah!
Which means that next month you will work unpaid and have no days off.
Oh, that's mean.
No days off.
The pigeon, the bird, the doves, pigeons. Oh no.
Oh no. Unhappy Gregson.
Poor Gregson.
This is where it wasn't there at all and it's on his desk or something.
There really are just so many books here. It's overwhelming. Oh, hey, look, The Lion's Pride.
For some, perhaps. I've purchased every book, new or old, on the subject of law from all over the globe.
Wouldn't have believed it for the
Okay.
No, that's it.
That's it.
Wouldn't have believed it a few short decades ago. A place like this couldn't have existed.
What do you mean, Inspector?
When I was a lad, no one ever dreamed of buying books. You'd get called all sorts of names like nerd and bookworm and namby-pamby.
Teacher's pet.
They'd say, "Oh, you're too good to read from slate and sticks like the rest of us, eh?"
Oh, I see. Western books are such luxury items, I suppose, with their leather covers and fancy bindings.
No, that's not it.
Oh?
There was a tax on paper. Oh, it's always a friggin' tax, isn't it?
There's always a tax.
Always.
There was a tax on paper, see?
On paper? Voice cracked.
Yeah, I mean, it was abolished about 30 years back now, but it used to be the case. Just like with the windows. They messed that one up right well, because now everything's just, like, you know, a dank cavern if you go inside the house.
Oh, yes. I remember those about the top hinge casement windows, yes.
Say.
There was a tax levied on any kind of paper, which is why I've been reusing the same newsprint for my chips ever since then.
You have no idea
Since
how
I was 10 years old and I started eating fish and chips, I've been using it every day, without cease.
You really don't want to be touching this paper, boy. You really don't.
It's well seasoned, if you get what I mean.
it's like, oh, let me shake your hand. Don't mind the grease.
But Inspector Gregson, there's no more tax, surely.
Oh, aye, but you know, old habits and all that. So obviously that meant most folk couldn't afford to buy any books at all.
So is that why places like the rental library you mentioned before came into existence, Lord Stronghart?
Long Stronghart.
Long. Indeed. Vestiges of the paper tax system, you could say. The general public considers books as items for hire. London is home to a vast lending library of some 3.5 million books.
You couldn't hope to read all of that, even if you were reincarnated 10,000 times.
Even I would choose to rent a book rather than purchase it if I knew I would read it infrequently. I am turning into Van Zeeks again.
The subject of tax has actually surprised us already in the last few days. It came up in Mr. Natsume's trial. It seems that the window in his room was filled in due to some kind of window tax.
That would be true. Fortunately, the window tax was abolished here some 40 years ago. Sadly, in the East End in particular, many windowless houses remain.
Britain's always had a bit of a thing for taxing stuff. But I'm sure it's not going to be a problem, you know, if you tax tea that gets shipped over to the colonies. I mean, I can't think of anything that might go wrong there. Whatever they can tax, they tax. Without representation, I might add. Sugar, salt, tea, coffee, you name it. Candles, beards, that's why I have a mustache.
Wait, sorry, what was that last one? Did you say beards?
Yup. A beard tax. Never heard of it?
Never! Why should people have to pay money just because they let their facial hair grow?
You may well ask. I suppose it's because it makes them look self-important.
The Naruhodos will have a strict family policy of no facial hair, I think.
Wink. And he turns he turns directly to the camera and winks. You can relax. The beard tax was confined to the annals of history long ago.
Even so, it's clearly something the British really love. Paying taxes, I mean.
Oh yeah, we love it. Love
Pay
it.
them! You've got that back to front, sunshine.
But you can't deny that you've had a lot of funny taxes over the years. You'd never find anything like that in Japan. Would you, Miss Susato?
And then I'm just waiting for Susato to be like,
Well, actually, there was this tax, this tax, this tax.
well, actually.
In actual fact, I'm afraid to say that you would, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh dear.
What? No, you don't mean... Surely there's never been a window tax in Japan?
No. In fact, just a door tax.
No, but there have been similarly obscure taxes. For example, in the Edo period, there was a frontage tax.
What was that?
It was a tax not on windows.
Oh my god, it was!
Pete,
I mean, you know.
what?
It was a tax not on windows, but on the entrance to properties.
So you could have a house but no door. But if you had a house without any doors, you wouldn't be taxed. So,
Wow. You just have to climb in through the window.
That's it, climbing through the window. You just have to never be seen to be doing that, because otherwise it might be argued that it counts as an entrance.
That's true.
The larger a property's entrance was, the greater the tax that was levied on
That's
it.
why you just dig a small tunnel.
Yeah.
Even today, some mansions survive with extremely narrow entrances due to that old form of taxation.
Interesting.
I had no idea.
Huh. So you Japanese are as So you Japanese are as twisted as us Brits,
I wouldn't
I
go
say,
that far.
in a Scottish accent for no particular reason.
But we never had a beard tax. I mean, that's really going a step too far.
Well, no, that's true. I am not aware of any taxes for beards, at least.
What do you mean, at least?
Well, rather than tax them, the shogunates did once prohibit them outright.
Ruling class prohibited beards?
It was called the Great Beard Prohibition. It was an Edo period edict.
But why did the powers that be want to ban beards?
Was it because that way only the higher class people could have them? No. Because it makes people look self-important, I say, looking in no particular direction towards my direct supervisor. Just an idea.
It would seem that rulers in the East and the West have had very similar ideas over the years. There have been other unusual taxes in our history, even in our current Meiji period.
They have?
For example, though it was before either of us were born, there was a rabbit tax. A rabbit
No,
tax?
not the bunnies.
No.
There was a tax on those adorable fluffy creatures, like the ones who make mochi sweets on the moon.
Guess that's a folklore thing, I'm gonna say.
It is. It was
Yeah,
in one of our-
it's the bunnies with the mallet. You see it in Okami.
Yeah, I think we had a Boxu one, you know, when we had the Boxu
Not sponsored.
subscription for a bit.
Yes, we did.
It was one, because usually they come in an orange box. This one came in a black box, and it was all about the moon and the bunny. It had a bunny on it. So I remember
course,
it from
yeah.
that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and it was an extremely large tax too. The government demanded extraordinary sums of money.
This just gets stranger and stranger. What was the reason for that bizarre tax then?
Well, after Japan opened its doors to the world, there was an unprecedented rabbit boom in the Meiji capital.
A boom?
Yes, keeping rabbits became hugely popular, and the new species were traded at exorbitant prices. People were even swindled out of all their money for exotically colored rabbits.
Like colored chicks, I suppose.
Hard to imagine, though. Rabbits are so timid and quiet. Wouldn't have thought one could bankrupt you.
So in response to this worrying social vogue, the government imposed a rabbit tax.
I suppose they couldn't just ignore the problem.
I don't know, it seems to work well for the American government.
And it worked, because the rabbit boom came to an abrupt end. 6 years later, the tax was abolished.
Well, I hate to say it about my own country, but Japan is strange.
But there's more! After the rabbit tax was abolished, then, of course, society reacted by launching straight into a second rabbit boom.
Oh no.
All of the bunnies.
It's the seesaw.
Oh dear.
The bell
government
curve.
didn't think that one through, did they?
Your ideas about the world are very much altered by the position you hold in society. If you are responsible for the running of the country, you will feel the need to raise revenue keenly.
Without a stable taxation system, the whole country would go down the drain.
Well, yes, I suppose so. But some of these taxes...
That's precisely why ministers of state use their wiles to invent new and novel ways of taxing the public.
Novel ways?
Yes, like the novel tax.
Indeed. Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, if you were one of my country's statesmen...
Me? A British statesman?
Just humour me. Yes. What novel tax would you impose? Pray, give us something truly original. Inside 5 seconds. Go.
What? Oh,
Think of something that everyone uses, Mr. Naruhodo, and really squeeze every penny out of the population.
That's quite the intense stare. I'm very glad Susato-san is in charge.
Time's up.
Yes.
Your time is up. So, what's your answer? And I will disregard the fact that by asking you the question, I'm actually giving you more time.
Yeah.
Well...
Oh
air?
my
Maybe? Yes! How about air?
God. An air tax, you say?
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. A truly novel and fiendish idea.
Well, everyone has to breathe. So while the population is inhaling air, my government is inhaling money.
You shouldn't be proud of this.
No.
Blimey, you're a tyrant at heart, eh?
A somewhat radical solution to a country's revenue problems. But sadly, not an original one.
Oh, really? Come on.
No, have you never seen the Lorax? They already have the bottled air.
Oh, no,
The
I've
new
not
one.
seen it, no.
No.
No, you mean to say?
Surely not. You mean a tax on air has been imposed in the past?
It was last century. The finance minister of our neighbour France proposed it.
What? If I ever go for a visit, I'm holding my breath.
I don't think it'd last very long.
Unsurprisingly, it was strongly opposed by the public and soon scrapped. The minister didn't last long either.
Oh dear. Although clearly that would have been an unattainable situation.
Untenable.
Untenable.
Situation.
The public at large are a force to be reckoned with.
Don't I know it?
How about you, Inspector? What new tax would you
Chips.
impose?
Well, no, because he wants
no,
to
because
eat
that
them.
that would solve his problems at all.
Let me see. My first thought is a tax on objections.
Sorry?
Been hearing far too many of them recently in court. There's a particular lawyer I have in mind, as it happens.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of me disagreeing with your idea.
I like to object.
I know he meant Ryunosuke.
So I think an objection tax could be very handy.
Good to see you don't allow your personal feuds to influence your work in public office.
I reckon 5 pence for every objection raised would be about right.
A most amusing proposal, Gregson.
A most unamusing proposal, my lord.
Well then, I think it's your turn now.
Sorry, my turn for what?
Finding the book.
Why, what else? To locate my missing copy of The Lion's Pride.
Oh!
It's on one of the shelves in this room. Of that I am certain. Now, I shall give you 10 minutes. And let's stake your student stipend on it. Fail to find the book, and you forfeit next month's payment.
Objection!
Your time starts now. Oh, and one more thing. I believe you just said the word objection. Kindly leave your 5p over there before you begin combing the shelves.
This tax is going to be the death of me. And every descendant you have.
Ha, 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 ha. It's funny. Tax is funny. Ha, ha.
Not really.
Pete
Well,
is
now
in
we've learned
actual
of
physical pain. Oh.
Now we've
Okay.
learned of ridiculous taxes.
Okay, so episode 4. This fourth escapade unfolds one morning on Baker Street when Iris has prepared breakfast for everyone as usual, but Ryunosuke wakes to find an envelope under his door containing a death threat. Who on earth could have put it there, and why? Don't know why that was like a half Sholmes. Like, Sholmes' sing-songy voice. Ooh.
9th of March, 8:23 a.m. Sholmes is sweet.
Good morning, Iris. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, morning, Susie. I'll get breakfast on the table for us all.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes. It's morning.
Oh dear, it looks like Mr. Naruhodo hasn't had his coffee. Oh, come. Wait, I just all of a sudden blanked on his voice. Like,
Come now.
Come now. No, come now. Why the long face?
Oh, I'm sorry. The thing is, I just had a rather strange envelope posted under my door this morning. With some rather strange things inside.
What strange things? Ooh, what is it, Bruno? Do I catch the scent of a mystery in the air?
Nothing so exciting, I'm afraid, Iris. It was just 5 orange pips. I can't imagine what it could possibly...
What? Orange pips, Mr. Naruhodo? And 5 of them?
What's the matter with you? That's a bit of an overreaction, isn't it?
An overreaction? Mr. Naruhodo, you don't understand. It's a warning, a notice of imminent danger to your life.
Uh-oh.
What? To my life? What's the meaning of all this, Mr. Sholmes?
I have no idea what you're talking about. My dear fellow, why do you make such an inquiry of me?
Because the name of the sender was written on the envelope, and it was yours?
Oh, bother.
That's a
What an
bit of an
oversight.
oversight on
That's
my
a-
part.
Indeed.
Oh, you're right, Bruno. It says sent by Sholmes, envoy of hell.
Oh, so my little ploy has been exposed. Well, so be it. Cast your mind back, if you will, Mr. Naruhodo, to the time of our dining last night.
Oh, yes. Miss Susato cooked Japanese food for us.
And it was delicious. Indeed. In particular, you may recall the final Norimaki sushi roll that I was about to savor.
Uh-oh.
That is, before you swooped in with your clacking chopsticks and filched it from under my nose. I was going to say filched it from right
Pray
under my
forgive
nose.
the discourtesy of stealing the roll you were about to eat. Oh, I assumed because you'd left it that you didn't want it.
Ah, but you see, it was in my fingers and moving at a greater speed towards my gaping maw.
I mean, again, that just sounds like Sarah if she's taken her Terry's chocolate orange out of the fridge and has left it on the counter and comes back and there's just, a large Terry's chocolate orange shaped bulge in Pete's mouth. He's like, I thought you didn't want it. You just left it on the counter.
And I'll refer you to the finale of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where you can see live footage of
Of Pete's actual live video of Pete eating a Terry's chocolate orange.
sort of.
Or at least, well, not, I guess, an interpretation.
Indeed.
Of
I'd left it, my dear fellow, because I had planned to enjoy it as my very last mouthful. Surely you must have noted my intent by the subtle dilation of my right pupil.
Perhaps a clearer sign would be helpful next time. just an idea?
In summary, the post you received earlier is a notice of impending revenge. You should be quaking in your boots.
Really?
Oh, yes. Why, you have no idea what I'm going to do.
Because I went straight out into the garden and planted them. I'm hopeful we may grow some exotic fruit.
There's no point sending a notice of impending revenge if the person you sent it to doesn't know what it is.
Well, I know, of course, because I've read this book, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. On sale now in all major London bookshops and receiving rave reviews.
Oh, yes,
Naturally.
of course. It's finally been published, hasn't it? I hear it. You know what? We never got an answer as to why Sherlock was hiding the Hound of the Baskervilles
No, we
thing.
didn't.
No,
Maybe that's in the next one.
maybe.
Maybe it will be resolved in the next game.
Oh, it might be. No, I just was thinking about that because it's like, okay, they resolved pretty much every plot thread except that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. It's finally been published, hasn't it? I hear it's selling very well. Almost as well as the copies of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on sale now on Steam.
It is! 12 short stories in one volume. I've earned a lifetime spending money already.
Little.
And it has
So-and-so.
and it has further bolstered my name. In fact, only the other day, a Bohemian king sought to engage my services.
He only wanted my bank information in order to send me the transfer, along with my mother's maiden name and first pet.
Although
My
why
national
he'd want
security number.
Although why he'd want to know about my pets, I have no idea.
Really? That's extraordinary.
Of course. The gentleman persisted with some pretense about being a fishmonger for the duration.
I know that's a reference to something, but I will be entirely dipped if I know what it is.
But only a fool would presume to be able to deceive my eyes with such a charade.
So how did you know that he was a king, then?
Why, there is no mystery, my dear fellow. A distinct smell of fish accompanied the man's lowly apparel. And though he tried to hide it, the left side of his moustache quivered in a quite manifest manner.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes. That's simply brilliant.
Yes, the fishmonger smelling like fish is definitely something that's...
Having neatly resolved the case of the man, I was sent a quantity of fresh cod as a mark of his appreciation.
I think perhaps you shouldn't discount the possibility that he actually was a fishmonger.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
Ah, is that it? Is it that?
Nope.
Is that...
Oh.
But is that? Oh dear.
Is that... Can anyone else smell burning?
Oh, yes, you're right. And look, smoke! I think maybe...
Fire! Fire! There's a fire, everyone!
Really? A fire?
No, I'm just saying it for no reason. We must all leave at once. Everyone out of the building. I don't know why this voice has gone so
No,
weird.
wait! I have to go back to my room first!
Oh no! Are you deranged? If you're not asphyxiated by the smoke, the flames will burn you to death.
But my Daruma doll! I can't let my Daruma burn! It means too much! Ah, drat! Sorry, but I'm going to make a dash for it upstairs!
Bruno, you're so funny.
This is no time for jokes, Iris! Go! Quickly, get out of here!
But there is no fire. Is there, Hurley?
Huh?
What a delight to see that ploy enacted in the flesh. I wouldn't have dared to dream I should be so lucky.
Miss Rosato?
Oh! Indeed, it was a ploy, a devilment, and oh, for goodness sake, a devilment engineered by my puckish spirit.
Like a hockey puck? It was all a trick? But why? Because you stole his role.
It is a simple experiment of the mind, Mr. Naruhodo. When his life is threatened, a fellow is compelled instinctively to protect that property to which he attaches matching importance.
And
Yes, like if my house was on fire, I would have to somehow carry my entire giant-ass gaming PC out, or I would burn alive with it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I'd get all my Momiji dolls out there.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd rescue, honestly.
The cat?
Yeah,
Might be a good one.
Yeah, probably. The cats, the wife.
I think you're assuming that the cats would even be in there. I feel like all three would just like abandon you.
Yeah, they
instantly.
would have
It's like
left
the
us.
fire just zoom, zoom, zoom.
And after your own life, Runo, the most important thing to you seems to be your Daruma doll.
Let's not dwell on that, shall we, Iris? So, you knew all along, Miss Susato, that it was a trick?
Yes, of course. The very ploy is described in this book. The adventures
The one that you consult for legal matters and everything else.
The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. On sale now in all major London bookshops and receiving rave reviews.
Susato,
But we just had an exit.
why are you advertising the book to me every time you mention it?
Oh, no
Also,
reason.
we just had a whole explanation on why people can't even afford books. It's the paper tax. Not again.
I have used that device quite satisfactorily. Satisfactorily.
Satisfactorily.
I know. It's just a strange word. I mean, I know what it means. I'm not stupid. It's a bit of a mouthful, that one. I have used that device quite satisfactorily in the past. It's still the
what she
case.
said.
See, I feel like satisfactorily sounds like the American way of saying it. I feel like satisfactorily, but I'm probably wrong.
Oh, yes, it was a great success, wasn't it? But then it became something of a habit, didn't it? You started yelling fire at every crime scene.
Oh, whoopsie.
In the end, people started to pay no attention to you at all.
I know. It was an awful shame. Yes, that's true. There was a time when I was known as the Sholmes who cried wolf.
I think there's a lesson to be learnt in there. Somewhere.
But sadly, my little ploy failed to yield results this time. Iris was utterly unmoved.
What do you mean?
Well, I was anticipating that Iris would immediately expose her secret hiding place. The location of the nest egg she must have cached somewhere in this room. For no particular reason.
Nest egg? You think Iris has some secret savings?
Well, she did mention only a moment ago. Why, naturally. The book is selling like hotcakes, after all. It is a simple deduction, indeed, to conclude that the profits must be concealed here within these walls.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you in need of money?
Always.
From your 10-year-old roommate?
Ha! I bet I know what it is. It's that new microscope that's gone on sale, isn't it, Hurley?
No. Maybe. What else? I have such a strong desire to own one, yet my purse is but £1 too light. And as no offer of a loan has been forthcoming, excuse me, I have been forced to resort to an alternative stratagem.
Sorry, Hurley, but I'm not falling for that. Not coming from the Sholmes who cried wolf.
Oh no, there it is. Ugh, how vexing.
You really shouldn't be trying to steal a 10-year-old's savings, you know.
My book is full of little tricks like that, you see. The armory of the great detective.
Except that in this case, both the orange pips and the fake fire fell a little flat, didn't they?
No, I have plenty more tricks up my sleeve. Take, for example, the case of the Boscombe Valley Mystery. Boscombe?
I'm already filled with dread just from the title.
It is the tale of extraordinary skill on the part of the great detective. The skill of tracking. Excuse me.
Oh, tracking?
When I arrived at the scene of the crime in the eponymous valley, there were footprints everywhere. But my eye was immediately drawn to one set in particular.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, your detective instincts are truly remarkable.
As you know, my dear madam, no detail, no matter how small, escapes the scrutiny of these eyes. So, I tracked my quarry, following the trail of his footprints all the way to
Has he followed his own footprints back to his house?
to the man's place of residence.
Baby.
It led you directly to the culprit's house? What a triumph!
You misunderstand. It led me directly to my own house, dear fellow.
Well done, you called it.
Huh?
For the footprints were, in the final analysis, those made by my own shoes.
Hurley had left here before Boscombe Valley as soon as he received a telegram about the case, you see. And then he followed his own trail straight back here to Baker Street.
Now, Iris, please, you make it sound almost humdrum. But I assure you, it is no easy feat.
Yes, that level of incompetence truly is no easy feat.
Tracking of this nature is a skill possessed only by the great Sherlock Sholmes.
You're right, it really is extraordinary.
Indeed. Quite so. Extraordinary is the word. And let it be the last on the subject. Anyway, needless to say, I subsequently went on to solve the case with various other deductions.
Yes, it's the various other deductions that I'm interested in.
Ah, well, you shall have to read the book then. I'm sure Iris has penned it with her usual flourish.
Oh, absolutely! I put an ingenious spin on the great detective's exploits.
I mean, I suppose you'll need to, as they tend to be a bit mundane and incorrect.
It must have been very ingenious to make this man sound even remotely credible as a detective.
Wait, is that... Does it smell like something's burning again?
We've had enough devilment for one day, Mr. Sholmes. Put your puckish spirit to bed.
I assure you, this has nothing to do with me or my spirit.
What?
Oh no! The smoke is getting thicker.
Has Iris forgotten the breakfast that was cooking?
Maybe.
You mean it's not a trick this time? There really is a...
Fire! Fire! There's a fire, everyone!
Mr. Zato, where are you going?
Stand aside, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah! Easy, Mr. Sholmes, what are you...
I'm boxing the flames. Smash.
Mr. Sholmes? Why did he just chuck that bust of Napoleon on the floor? Oh, look at that. In amongst all the broken porcelain. Coins! Sovereigns, in fact, with a whole pound each.
Come, everyone. We must leave at once. Evacuate the building.
You fell for it, Hurley. Hook, line, and sinker.
Ah, but you see, it is you that fell for my ploy, for now I know where your secret stash is.
So wait, that's the bust of Napoleon on the back there, right? So
am-
did he? Does he have two different busts of
I
Napoleon?
guess so.
I mean... Ah...
Wait, you mean Iris?
I certainly wouldn't have guessed that's where you'd hidden it.
Do you mean to say that this smoke was...
My own puckish spirit needs to come out and play sometimes too, you know.
Yes. You're...
What?
Of course. I know what it is, Iris. It's that indoor herb garden set that went on sale last week, isn't it? That's what you're after.
I want one so desperately, but I'm £4 short. And even though you told me you didn't have any money to spare before, I knew you had a secret nest egg somewhere in this room.
Oh, for goodness sake. God, you outwitted me again.
You really shouldn't let yourself be outwitted by a 10-year-old child, you know.
So, thank you for the loan, Hurley. Oh, but wait.
What's the matter?
Where's Susie? She disappeared.
Oh, yes, that's right. She ran off up the stairs before, didn't she?
Oh, has she
got
gone
the
to retrieve the
Daruma.
Daruma doll?
Yeah.
Oh! What are you all still doing here? We have to evacuate. It won't be long before the fire is...
Hmm.
Sorry, Susie. Children will get up to mischief once in a while, you know. But it's all perfectly harmless.
Harmless, maybe, but oh so devious.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Oh, dear.
Ah.
Oh, well, at least nobody was hurt.
Except Napoleon.
Apart
Yeah.
from Napoleon and my secret hoard, and perhaps my pride. Now, tell us, Mr. Sato, what is that you went so fleet-footedly to fetch? Or what is it?
Sorry? Oh, no, nothing. It's just... no, this is nothing.
Susie? That's... Oh, that's your notebook detailing all of Ryuno's trials, isn't it? It's bulging at the seams.
What?
Ah, a testament to the various people you've helped over the past months.
Miss Susato,
Well, I am your judicial assistant after all. I would do anything to ensure the safety of these records. Even risk my life, if necessary.
Aw.
I mean, it's very important to me. It's like a diary of everything we've achieved together.
It's a real shame that I knock you out without saying goodbye before I leave. I'm getting all teary-eyed now.
Yes, in stark contrast to a certain someone who would have fetched his Daruma doll, I must say.
I guess that's it.
I guess that's it.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us for our escapades.
Don't worry, we're not leaving town.
We'll not give up the day job just yet.
Yeah. And so, with that, I guess we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for joining us, and do remember that if you like what we do, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and give us a share or something. That might be nice.
That would be nice.
And we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time for another escapade.
And remember, if you're going to keep your money somewhere, don't put it in a bust of Napoleon, because quite frankly, a bank account is going to be a more secure way. The guy lost. He lost the war. Don't put your money. Don't.